The grass is always greener on the other side. I love that line because it's so true. Roll it. Welcome back to another video. If this is your first time here, hit a like, hit a subscribe at the end of this video if you liked what you saw. And of course, watch the rest of these videos and all these series so you can see how integrity can help you move in the right direction. The grass is always greener on the other side. It's a well-known truth of life. Why is it a well-known truth? Because people have these deep secrets inside and they don't really show who they are. We, based on our experiences, based on the values we've built, based on what we see, assume that the grass is greener on their side. I can guarantee you 99.8% of the time, it's the opposite. And yes, what they are projecting, what they are showing, that perception you've built of them, it's basically a false narrative. This is why when you meet somebody and they're presenting themselves to you in a certain way, they eventually are not the same person 60, 90, 100 days down the road. There is characteristics there of it, however, those other characteristics take over, and that notion of who you met versus who you're seeing right now has changed. People will undoubtedly tell the narrative they want people to know about. This is a given fact. There's no lies here. We all do it to some degree. We will always elaborate some aspect of our life when we see that somebody is attracted to that aspect of the life. The question is, how many people are being real? To what extent? I don't really need to get into details of different characteristics that people will show, but it could be anything from the positive level they're at, the emotional stability they have, the I take care of myself moments, and then you can jump over to how successful they are, how much money they have, the showboat of everything they are, and what a wonderful life they have, and how fun their life is. And yeah, like, then you realize 90 days, 120 days, how real they are. You also realize that different things are happening in people's lives, and a lot of the time when they meet somebody new, they want to escape that world, and they create a narrative that they don't want other people to see. This is the subconscious mind doing it. Don't get me wrong. It's not, people aren't just like always in this mean, evilly state and trying to confuse what the reality is, right? As this is kind of like, this is subconscious stuff. Are there people who, will jump in and create this false narrative on purpose? Yes, we have them all around. The narcissists and all those people in those clusters. You have all the scam artists. You have all the people trying to fake it till you make it. That whole mentality, that's all of it, yes. And the reality is that how do you take people at face value, and how do you build the trust? And how fast should you trust? I have some rules that I follow, and these rules I follow with all the people I see. I've experienced many things, and of course I've coached a lot, and I hear stories that I never want to be stuck in. So these rules are based on that kind of stuff. One, I analyze what people say. I actually sit there and I analyze, why are they saying it as they're telling me this? Sometimes I'll lose myself after the conversation trying to piece together why somebody would be saying that. It's not something that you need to be doing necessarily, but it's something I like to do, and it's something that people who have experienced relationships with narcissists start to do. And when I say piece it together, I start to piece together first dates. If they brought up dates, I want to know, if they're changing their dates, if the narrative is changing. So an example would be if they had a great experience in college, or if it was right after college and it was with somebody specific and they gave some dates out, or they gave some time and space, like it was Easter, etc., okay? How did they all piece together? And I try to line them up, because my next outing with them means I will hear more of this. Once I hear more of it, I start to piece it together, and off we go. Okay, how aligned are they with their timeline? Has that narrative changed, and why? Secondly, I try to look at what values they have in that conversation, that first initial meeting. What are they saying, and how are they saying it? If they're blowing off time like it's nothing, then I wonder why they're doing that. Do they really have life that great that they can just say whatever, I love my life each and every day, and I don't need to look at time as in a time space where I'm gonna die soon, in 50 years, 40 years, and I have to do as much as I can? Or is it because they're trying to create that idea, because that notion of me and what I say and what I do is that I always have time for stuff. I don't feel the age I am, I feel younger, and I know that I always have more time to do stuff. Does it get me in trouble sometimes? Yes, I'm not going to say it doesn't, but that's the mentality I have. I always see it, and I have my mother to come back to me and go, hey, you're getting older, let's speed up things with getting married and having kids and stuff, right? And then you sit there going, oh, okay, my reality, I need to come back a little bit on it. Am I enjoying all the things I'm doing? Yes. Now, if the other person on that same, timeline with me, is that on that same mentality? Is it that their values are that way, or are they just saying what I want to hear? Thirdly, are they positive? Are they positive? True positive? Is it coming from a place of self-love? Is it coming from a place of self-respect? And what is the level of acceptance they've come to where they are on that level? Is it something that it's fake and it's a false positive? It's a false narrative as they try to get through what they're actually going through? Number 4, are they doing the fake it or you make it game? And is this something that is affecting their future with other relationships and how their other relationships been affected with it? Okay, is that, that false narrative affecting their positive level? Because when people run the fake game and they're going, yeah, I'm gonna fake it till I make it, is that the situation where their positive levels are high and then boom, they have a drop? Because all of these things will affect the relationship in general in the long term. Lastly, one of the biggest things here is to look at it from a perspective of time goes by. What are the values they've listed on the list they have? Listed on the list, that's a good one. And what is the critical ones that they're holding to, and what are the ones they are not anymore? Are they values that I have stated are my values, and are those values still at the top of the list because they're their values at the top of the list, or have they dropped back because they have other values that are higher? When I meet people who are telling me they want to be this great successful entrepreneur, and their value is based on what you need to do to achieve, and that's the hustle, and you don't need to go spend money on anything unless you really need it. And then 90 days later I see them pulling up in a new car, or they're spending money on big fancy dinners, they're trying to impress the wife or the girlfriend or the husband or whatever. I start to ponder, well, how committed are they? When I look at myself, I know that I have a high value for my startups, my businesses, my coaching, everything I do, and that takes priority. It takes priority because I need to see that success occur, or else I'm not going to be happy. I love to see that success come towards me, and I love to just grab it and hug it and squeeze it. And it's not just based on money, it's all based on the value I've put on seeing results occur in the time frames I have put on myself to see success come. If this is changing and their values have changed, now you have to ask yourself, well, what are my values and how aligned are we, and is this a good fit to continue? If anything, I've learned in my life that in 90 days to 120 days, and even sooner, but 90 days to 120 days to 150 days, you will see this change. If you're spending a lot of time with somebody over a 3-month period, you will see things change. You'll see the reactions they have to certain situations. You'll see how they react to people in their lives, and how they act, how they talk, and what their end goal is. You'll see if they are really truly aligned to their mission and purpose in life, and you'll also see how high they hold themselves with their integrity. Is their integrity aligned? They're willing to, is it really high and they're willing to drop it? And if so, how much of an effect will that have on your relationship in the future? The idea here is to make sure that people who are coming into your realm, that it's not just, it's not that you want people and anybody in there. You don't want people that are showing this grass being more green on the other side. You want people that are authentic and are, true to themselves, because you have a better chance of success in that relationship down the road. Does it mean that it's a bad thing to part ways with people? No, I've had great relationships with great people, and because we have different values, different needs at that moment does not mean that that relationship has to be a bad ending. It just means that it wasn't, the roads weren't connecting, and it just means that the grass was greener on the other side, and then I stepped over the fence and it wasn't that kind of green I wanted to see. Or it could just be like dirt and like mud, and you're kind of like, bad one. And at that point, you gotta make your decision on what direction you want to go. Is it to maintain this relationship where you just jumped into mud, or is it that you want to go check out some other place where the grass could be as green as it looks, and it is more aligned with your mission and purpose in life, your values, and of course, maintaining your integrity will be at most critical in this whole process. So take some time and really think about all these different things and ask yourself, where have I been with different people, and have I done any of this subconsciously? Because that will be a telling story for you. My name is Nikos Rentas. This is mentorsapproach.com. Hit a subscribe, hit a like, and of course leave a comment below where maybe you did have a thought, and maybe this is it was telling of what is going on, and how did that turn out? And of course, leave a comment below so that, who knows, maybe somebody will read it and it might change a life.